Brother Teacher here. I did a video uh, on the subject of how I believe Brandon Lee died. The son of the late great martial arts master Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee. Now, in 1996, at the age of 26 years old, Brandon Bruce Lee was on the set of a movie called The Crow. And allegedly, a prop gun was used in a scene where a fellow actor fired the gun at Brandon, and a piece of metal or bullet dislodged from the gun, striking Brandon Lee and ultimately killing him. Now, after this happened, there were many people in Hollywood that spoke out against, the negligence. Steven Seagal, the Aikidoist, even he spoke and made the statement that it seemed like someone tried to murder him, or it was a gross negligence on someone's part. But how coincidental was this act? The fact that Brandon died, and he was the son of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was known worldwide. It was said by conspiracy theorists that Bruce Lee died and he was killed by the Triads or some Chinese group who didn't like the fact that he was teaching non-Chinese martial arts over here in the West. And there was a plethora of other conspiracy theories as to how Bruce Lee died. But that's another subject, and I've already spoke on what his mother said the actual cause of his death was, being death by misadventure, which was the official report. But anyway, getting back to Brandon Bruce Lee, his son, I believe, personally, this is me, I'm not talking about the Lee family, I'm not talking about anybody else, I'm talking about me. I believe that he was killed intentionally, because I do indeed believe that he would have become a force to be reckoned with. And because he was the descendant, and the male descendant for the most part, of his father, who was known worldwide, and plus he was a non-white actor here in America, and he gained so much popularity, and Brandon would have received that same popularity and status over time, and he was well on his way to achieving that. Even though he said himself in an interview or two that he wasn't trying to be like his father. But the powers that be didn't care what his statements were. They still wanted to remove Brandon so that they would not have that competition in the white world, so to speak. And when I say white, I'm not saying that from a prejudicial standpoint. I'm saying white, I'm talking about the elite whites. I'm not talking about an average white or Caucasian person or group. I'm talking about those people who are supremacist by nature. Those people didn't want another Bruce Lee. Even though he was mixed white and Asian, they didn't want another Bruce Lee. So that was the excuse that they used. Now let me fast forward to what occurred after that. Well, let me say this, let me preface this statement by saying this. I love Bruce Lee and his family, the whole Lee family. I have nothing against anyone. I'm a commentator, and I also have common sense and a little bit of wisdom, I might add. Linda Lee, at the time, she filed a civil suit against the film company, and they settled out of court. Let me say it again. They settled out of court. Why did they settle out of court? Why was it not transparent? Why was it not exposed completely what all of the wrongdoings specifically were? Could she have been threatened when she settled out of court? Could her life had not been threatened possibly when she settled out of court? In other words, keep your mouth shut and we're going to give you X amount of dollars. Or there are going to be some repercussions. Could this have been what happened? Now, you use your own judgment. You know, there's been mafia-style killings since the beginning of this so-called country. All of the time. All types of people in entertainment have been killed by government. By the government. Okay? Now, that was it. And that was all. All I want you to do is to do your own research and use that gray matter that God gave all of us to think and to try to use a little logic, maybe mingled with a little truth. And hopefully your conclusion might be similar or the same. Don't let me convince you, because I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just telling you what I believe and why I believe it. I believe Brandon Lee was removed from this earth because he would have become a threat in the martial arts / movie entertainment industry, as his father was. Okay? That was it. Let me know what you think. This is Brother Teacher.